Hello everyone, my name is Arti and you're watching HW News. The NDA season is back. No, I'm not talking about any web series here, nor am I talking about the BJP-led National Democratic Alliance. I'm talking about NDA, that is No Data Available trend. Yes, that's right. NDA, that is No Data Available, seems to be the favorite answer of the central government whenever it is asked pressing questions. In yet another edition of the same, the central government has said that it has no data available as to how many journalists have been arrested in the country since 2019. Yes, the question was asked by TMC MP Mala Roy. The question sought to know how many journalists have been arrested in the country since 2019 and the details thereof. However, the Ministry of Home Affairs in reply to the question said that it simply has no particular data regarding the arrest of journalists in the country. It has said that NCRB has no data related to this. Now, I ask you a question. Leave alone the last 3 years. How many times have you read about the arrest of a journalist in the country in the last 6 months? Well, I personally know of some few cases. One of the cases, because that happened with us at HW News, our journalist. So I personally know one such question. Well, in this video today, let us talk about this particular reply of the government in detail, and let us also know how many journalists have been arrested in the country. We cannot have a consolidated data, but whatever few cases that I know about, let us talk about that. But before that, we at HW News have faced great difficulty for reporting the truth. From income tax raid on us in 2020 to a legal case against our journalist, including yours truly in 2021, the case that we still continue to fight. But that does not deter us from doing our job, that is reporting the news that matters to you. But doing so requires your support constantly. If you like our journalism, if you like the stories that we do, if you like the information that we bring to you, then please do consider supporting us. Go to our website www.hwnews.in/subscribe us. There you will find different subscription options available for our readers as well as for our viewers. If you want to support us, then pick up the subscription plan that suits your budget and pay us. Because when you pay, you help independent media like us not only to survive but also thrive to tell you the truth. Thank you so much. Well, Union Minister of State for Home Affairs Nityanand Rai on Tuesday informed Lok Sabha in a written reply that the NCRB, that is National Crime Records Bureau, does not maintain any specific data with regards to arrest of journalists. This reply of his came after question was asked by TMC MP Mala Roy about the number of journalists arrested in the country since 2019 and the individual charges levied on them. Apart from that, the question had also asked about how many journalists are currently being prosecuted in the country. Replying to her query, MOS Home Nityanand Rai said, "Police and public order are state subject under the 7th schedule to the Constitution of India, and state governments are responsible for the prevention, detection and investigation of crimes and for prosecuting the criminals through their law enforcement agencies." Not only that, when asked about India's Press Freedom Index ranking, the Information and Broadcasting Ministry said that it does not subscribe to the views and the rankings prepared by the organization that publishes the Press Freedom Ranking, that is the RSF. The INB Ministry had submitted a written reply to Mala Roy, A. Raja and A. Ganesh Murthy. The questions asked were as follows. A. Whether it is a fact that India ranked in the bottom 30 worst nations out of 180 as maintained by the media watchdog in the World Press Freedom Index. B. If so, the reasons thereof. C. Whether the government has made any analysis of the reasons due to which press freedom is on the decline, and if so, the steps taken to restore it. D. Whether the executive is using unfettered powers through various laws like National Security Act, IPC Sedition Law, UAPA, etc. to gag the freedom of journalists and threaten them. E. If so, the number of complaints received by the Government and Press Council of India in this regard during each of the last 3 years and the current year. And F. The details of action taken by the government in each such complaint. To this, Anurag Thakur, the Minister of Information and Broadcasting, replied this. For question A to C, he said, and I quote, "The World Press Freedom Index is published by a foreign non-government organization, Reporters Without Borders. The government does not subscribe to its views and country rankings and does not agree to the conclusions drawn by this organization for various reasons, including very low sample size, little or no weightage to fundamentals of democracy, adoption of a methodology which is questionable and non-transparent, etc." From D to F, he answers, and I quote, "In pursuance of its policy to uphold the freedom of press, the government does not interfere in the functioning of the press. Press Council of India, a statutory autonomous body, has been set up under the Press Council Act mainly to preserve the freedom of the press and improve the standards of newspapers and news agencies in the country. PCI considers complaints filed by the press concerning curtailment of press freedom, physical assault or attack on journalists, etc. Under Section 13 of the Press Council Act and processed under the provisions of Press Council Procedure and Inquiry Regulations, PCI is also empowered to take suo motu cognizance in matters on the pressing issues concerning freedom of press and safeguarding of its high standards." It further says, "Central government attaches highest importance to the safety and security of all residents of the country, including journalists. The Ministry of Home Affairs have issued advisories to the states and union territories from time to time to maintain law and order and ensure that any person who takes law into his or her own hand is punished promptly as per the law." An advisory specifically on safety of journalists was issued to states and union territories on 28th of October 2017, requesting them to strictly enforce the law to ensure safety and security of journalists or media persons, etc. Well, this is what the government has to say about the arrest of journalists and India's Press Freedom Index. Now, let me talk to you a little about India's Press Freedom Index. This year, that is in 2022, India's Press Freedom Index was 150 out of 180 countries. Now, India fell 8 places since its last ranking, that was 142 in 2021. The RSF had cited violence against journalists, that is increased violence against journalists as well as political partisan media, as the reason behind the slide in this index ranking, as well as it also had said this, and I quote, it had said that media in India, among nations reputed to be more democratic, faces pressure from increasingly authoritarian and or nationalist governments. This is what the RSF had said. However, as I said, the government does not agree to this view of RSS and it does not agree to the index as well. But let us talk about the first part of the entire documentation, that is the arrest of the journalist. According to a data by Committee to Protect Journalists, in 2020 alone, as many as 67 journalists faced arrest. Siddiq Kappan, a Kerala journalist who was going to cover Hathras rape case, was arrested on the way by UP police. The police claims he is a member of PFI. This happened in 2020. In 2020 also, the Maharashtra police arrested journalist Arnab Goswami in a case of abetment of suicide. In 2021, 2 of HW News journalists were arrested while they were covering the violence in Tripura. In 2022, 3 journalists in UP were arrested after they reported on the paper leak issue. Alt News journalist Mohammed Zubair was arrested recently, and we are all aware of that case. A journalist from Jharkhand whose name appeared in Pegasus expose as potential spying target was recently arrested too. And as we speak today, journalist and filmmaker Avinash Das has been arrested as well. And as I said, these are just few cases that I have come across that I can think of. There are hundreds of journalists working in these small towns, villages. They are exposing corruptions, they are talking about stories that matter to the people, they are risking their lives. Many of them are also facing legal cases, but only the cases that get wider attention, that are being talked about, many of them are facing legal cases. Many of such small towns, small villages journalists are facing cases, but it hardly reaches the masses. Do let us know what you think about this in the comment box below. For more news and updates, you can log on to www.hwnews.in. Also, if you like this video, please do not forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video and comment below it if you like this particular video and the information that we gave to you. Please give us a super thanks in the comment box. You can see the super thanks button just beside the share button below this video. If you are watching this video on Facebook, then please do like our page and share this video to as many people as possible. Thank you so much.